Oh, yes. Hello and welcome to the Stokastic.com NFL First Look Show, Week 7. I must say it's a special first look show. It's an inevitable first look show, but it's a special first look show for one very specific reason. Ben Rasa, as always, joining with me, the greatest show of the week. We lay the foundation going into the upcoming slate. There are some very interesting spots. If you follow me on Twitter, you will know that I was tweeting about them last night. And let me tell you, there will be chalk. There will be some chalk this week. And Ben, I'm probably eating a lot of it, given some of these matchups that I'm seeing early on, man.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't mean previous things breed future results, but so far, I think it's a pretty fair statement to say this year, the heavy chalk not only has not burnt you, but has just been a straight prerequisite to what you need from even on a 2-game, which is a lot different. But like, obviously, the most obvious plays last night were Drake London and Bijan, and obviously, of course, you needed them. And Dowdle, multiple weeks in a row, you needed him, and you needed him. It's just been very, very chalk heavy. We'll see if that continues.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, last night is a good example. Dowdle's a good example. In back-to-back weeks, by the way. Back-to-back weeks on Dowdle. 2 weeks ago, Javonte was pretty chalky at like, what was he, 4,800 or something? So, or no, it wasn't Javonte. It was Rashad White at 4,700. And he got there. That's not going to happen every slate. I do wonder, though, how much of this do you think is just like there are some really bad defenses right now? And like that's why when people go, you can't play the chalk this week. It's like, okay, so what you're trying to tell me is just because they're popular, I shouldn't play a guy who is $5,000 likely to get 20 plus touches in a top 3 matchup. Is that what you're suggesting? Like, I'm just not passing that up. If it goes against me, fine. There are other chalky spots to avoid. In my opinion, most of the chalky spots this year have been spots you don't want to avoid.
And that could be part of the reason why we've seen this run out of success. And it'll tip. It's a pendulum. Like, everyone is a fade at a certain ownership. I don't care who you are, what price you're at. So it's just the kind of situation we have to take it at face value. I don't think it's ever a good idea to say something's worked, so I need to do it this week. It doesn't work like that in general. It's an interesting slate. We do have some new wrinkles, 10 games, nice little, run out. We got some bad teams. The Jets are on the slate. We'll talk about them a little bit. I know you have some takes.
I bet the Jets money line, bro.
They are.
There's no Garrett Wilson this week either. Jets are winning this game. They're winning this game. Dude, the Carolina Panthers are road favorites. It's just such a recipe for disaster. They're road favorites against a winless team. I'm sorry, dude. It just lines up so perfectly. Dowdle is going to be popular, as Chris put it today, and I think he's like 6,800 now or something. If he's chalk, there's my fade.
Yeah. I mean, that's a different price point for sure.
Big time. Well, you know what it is? It's your point on, you know where I'm going with this?
No, I was reading chat. Michael Deeb, hold that thought. That's funny.
Josh, I know. You were close, though. And also, they held the Broncos to 13 points. They just suck. But it's your point over your 2023 point that both of us made, really, about Rashad White. Now, granted, Rico Dowdle is having these insane 230-yard from scrimmage games, but that's not I'm sorry, it's not standard. You can't keep doing that. Rashad White had a couple big games, and then his price point went nuts. And then what happened? He's 7K every week, giving you 15 to 20. Dowdle looks really good, but what if Chuba Hubbard's back this week too? I don't know. Look, we can get into that, but I have fun talking about these game theory discussions.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. I don't think the chalk will be as severe in that realm, but new guys will pop up. Listen, every week there are going to be injuries, there are going to be openings, and we've seen that almost every week so far. So I don't think this week will be any different. Yeah, that is a trap game. What else we got here?
Which is a trap game.
The Jet game. There's no doubt it's a trap game for Carolina, who
Oh, you agree with me?
yes, but just because something is a trap game doesn't mean, sometimes the team is that bad.
For sure. But also, it still can make for good opportunity. I don't go into any bet thinking I'm going to win it 100%.
Oh, of course. That's what I mean. People equate. Trust me, with my last 3 or 4 days in betting, I need to take that scope of sometimes the results don't mirror.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But again, okay, I have people in my comments actually super respectful in the comments on my picks for every game video. Because I do a fishy line of the week, Ben, every Tuesday. I'm going to record that video today, where it's like there's always one line each week that makes you kind of squint your eyes a little bit, right? And go, that's odd. Last week, to me, it was the Cardinals. We talked about it on the show, only getting 6.5 on the road. And then Kyler's out, moves to 9. They still cover. And, one could argue that was pass interference with the guy's arms draped around Trey McBride in the end zone. Arizona could have won that game outright. Yeah. And I think there are fishy lines this week. But you had a lot of people in the comments being like, they speak in definitives, right?
Absolutes.
In absolutes. The Colts can't not cover this game. It's like, all right, pal. The purpose of a spread is to make an uneven matchup even so you can bet it. So, yeah, they can absolutely cover this spread. And if you wanted to say that like in college football where a team's a 60-point favorite and the money line's not even on the board, they can't lose this game. There probably are like 100% win probability spots. Not in the NFL, ever. Literally never.
Penn State, who they were 20-point favorite 2 weeks in a row and they lost both games. So it happens.
Yeah,
it happens. So it is what it is. All right, where are we going here? And like I said, I'm just going to highlight this again. Keep an eye on that. We've got some fun stuff.
Oh, what a perfect opportunity.
This is good timing. We have something special for you.
Soon I'm going to drill this into your head, Ben.
Oh, to read the comment?
You got to read them out loud.
Okay.
There are people that listen in podcasts and you treat them like dirt. You step on them.
Okay, you ready? Michael D.
Yeah, I'm ready.
He has an alien avatar. It's lime green, and it's holding up a piece. I'm going to describe the whole picture. All right. Good morning, guys, period. Got friends who are interested in joining up, period. Any promo codes I give them, ? So at the end, he's pondering if we have a promo code. The answer is yes.
So you're providing context now?
Yeah, context now. Is that what you want?
What an asshole. All right. Not Michael, Ben. Yeah. All right. So here we go. First of all, welcome to all of you guys who hang with us every morning. Hopefully you guys enjoy this show as much as we do. I love this show. Even if Ben doesn't, I love doing this show with Ben.
I went into the wrong room this morning. I thought Loughy ditched the show.
I called you. I called him at 9:59. I was like, hey.
When it was ringing, I wish you could hear. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I was expecting like, the kids are sick. The power is, I'm just like, I don't have time for this.
And then it turned out being you.
Yeah, completely my fault. Typical.
Yeah. I wouldn't miss this show for the world, man. But if you guys don't mind, take a single second this fine Tuesday morning, atone for your sins. Hit that thumbs up. It's free. Subscribe to the channel. Believe it or not, it goes a long way for us. It really does. And leave a comment down below. Maybe even leave a comment on your goblin of the week. Ooh, baby. The time has come. It is finally here. Brian Callahan is no longer with the Tennessee Titans. An unceremoniously ushered, there we go, out of Tennessee after a brutal start to the season. The only win he had, Ben, the only win was a fluke win against Arizona. So two things here. I need you to elaborate on this because this has been your play all year long. Number two, next week we will have a new graphic. The Goblin of the Week does not start to be presented by Brian Callahan in 2026. It starts now, and I may run it all the way through the 2026 season. That is how bad he was this year, to the point where he has, in 1 week, usurped Brandon Staley and Nathaniel Hackett, both of whom were terrible in their own right. He is gone. It was inevitable, but the time has finally come. Goblin of the Week gets another one.
Yeah, inevitable. That's the whole purpose of the Goblin of the Week. There was no scenario in the Titans franchise history that they were going to end up with this guy as their coach, which I say every time. If you know that, then why? It's just like the Jets, honestly. Like, what do you think the chances are that the Jets have a future with Aaron Glenn? It's 0%. So what's the point of waiting? I don't understand that.
Well, they waited 6 weeks isn't great. Some teams would have drug it out all season.
Oh, well, it's the same thing. I just don't understand these teams. You don't need to be, these are not like on the margin situations. The Titans every week had nothing going on that could even resemble progress. The Jets, I mean, I hope the Jets never win because I assume this has got to be the case. If Aaron Glenn gets fired and he never wins, that would be truly insane.
Would he well, we would probably just have co-presenters next year because Aaron Glenn, we've spent a lot of time on Brian Callahan. So shout out to our friend Dustin in chat, pointing towards Aaron Glenn being the Goblin of the Week as well. I will say Aaron Glenn has been very, very bad. The team terrible. As well is very undisciplined, right? Like terribly undisciplined. You can't argue that they have no pieces at all because they do. Like they do have pieces. This isn't a team that has nobody and it's just like, all right, dude, come in and let's get through 18. Let's get through 17 weeks and we'll see what we can do for you in the draft and free agency. No, he has pieces. And those terrible decisions he made going into the half, the total undisciplined nature of this entire team, offense and defense, the inability to line up on the ball and get a snap off without taking a false start or a delay of game or a illegal man downfield or like all of these things. You know what? He is right there alongside Callahan. Callahan's just been so bad and it's been front and center that Aaron Glenn has gotten the pass from us, but he should not.
No, in some ways there are like the Titans, again, I'm not giving a pass to the Titans, but off the top of my head, I would say the Titans talent-wise are probably the worst team in the league. I think that's true.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else. I'll tell you this. My point isn't that. My point is the Jets are not. The Jets are not. They are, I'm not saying one of the more talented teams, but they're not last. I'd say there are several teams, with less talent, like the Saints, who are getting more out of their players.
I think there is one. I think there are two teams in their current, probably one team in its current iteration with less talent, and that's the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I think I think the Dolphins have a lot of talent.
Their defense is so bad that I'm not sure you could say that.
Talk about a double pass. Tua, if we didn't have these inept coaches, would also be in the running for Goblin of the Week because he doesn't know what's going on.
No, I bet the Browns this week as a favorite at home, man. 2.5 point favorite.
It's just like, well, the leader's got to step up. It's like, dude, you make $250 million. I think you might want to step up and do something.
Anyway, because we love you guys, Ben and I talked last night. We figured we have to commemorate this moment with something fun and something big for everybody. So for the question that Ben just answered by Michael Deeb, yes, we do have a promo code, and it is a good one. With code GOBLIN, you get 50% off any NFL Weekly Max or Core subscription. This is a First Look exclusive. No other show, and it only runs through this week on this episode. Now, here's what that means, right? Ben, here, I'm not going to bury the lead. Not only do you get 50% off with code GOBLIN, go to Stokastic.com, select a weekly select a weekly core or max package, and use code GOBLIN at checkout. It is that easy. Takes a second. We don't do these 50% off often. Usually only on like holidays. 50% off weekly or max or core. But how about this, Ben? Not only do you have Thursday this week, you have another London game. solo slate, big prize pools. You have a Sunday main, you have a Sunday afternoon, you have a Sunday night, and once again, another Monday night doubleheader. So I figured if we're going to do it, right? If we're going to do it, Goblin, promo code 50% off any weekly subscription to NFL, Max or Core, 50% off. Why not do it on a week where you have Thursday, Sunday morning, Sunday main, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, and a Monday night doubleheader? That's 6 slates there, not even including the obscure ones.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a fantastic time, for this. And this was all you, by the way. We just wanted to have some fun with it. You guys are my favorite show of the week. So yeah, 50% off. We don't do that a lot. And you mentioned you get to see the tools in different forms. That's actually my favorite part. You get a real main slate. 10 games. You get to do all that stuff. You get a 2-game slate, so it's still classic, but it's kind of a different format. Then you get a multitude of showdown slates. So you're getting to kind of see these tools in different varieties and see the value across all different formats, which is great. So if you've been thinking about getting in, obviously, save yourself some money. Don't be stupid. 50% off is a big chunk of change, and we hope to see you on the Hall of Fame. Simple as that. Promo code Goblin. I just tested it, Loughy. It looks beautiful. Good job. I think we're in business.
We're up and running. There you go. 50% off any NFL weekly subscription, Core or Max. Goblin is the promo. We had to do it, dude. We had to do it.
You can thank Bo Callahan or whatever his first name is. What's his first name?
All right.
Brian.
Let's get into this one. Goblin of the week is in the books for this week. Now we'll have to pick some. We can't pick Callahan anymore. I might just pick him anyway next week. All right. So fun slate on hand this week. I mean, I really like this. And I know you've taken a look at this as well. I assume you feel the same way. It's another 10-gamer, right? So if you look at 6, 7, 10 games, because you have the doubleheader and you have the London game, only 2 teams on bye. I'm absolutely loving these 10-game slates. They're my favorite. They don't put my head in they don't wrap my head in a pretzel. Let's talk about the quarterback position. And I'm going to throw something out to you right away. I think Mahomes, with the way he's played lately and getting Rashee Rice back this week, who, by the way, is $5,600, I think he ends up being popular on a spot like this. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be playing Patrick Mahomes, obviously. Here's what I am saying. There are some really good quarterback options in this top tier range where I think you could see legitimate shootouts. Like the Justin Herbert spot, if you get Joe Alt back and you fix that offensive line a bit, you could see a monster shootout in that game. Dak Prescott at home against Washington, likely getting CeeDee Lamb back. Jaden Daniels against Dallas. This is not just like I'm going to jam Mahomes because he has Rice back and they're facing the Raiders and they're 11.5-point favorites. It isn't to say I don't like him, but this 6K and up range, throw Daniel Jones in there as well. I think it's loaded this week.
It is. For the first time, we've talked about pay down quarterbacks almost all year. And time again, we have been, not even just we have been proven, it's just been proven that paying down for like a $4,800 Bryce Young or a $4,700 Radler, or if you had the actual top lineup last week in all the entire site, it was Jacoby Brissett. Somebody had, like, they have always been really, really, really positive for you this year because you can spend up elsewhere. I don't think that's the case this week. You mentioned 3 or 4 guys in absolutely dynamic positions. Dallas can't stop anyone. They're at home. That's a great spot. I hope Mahomes is really popular. I don't think he will be. You don't see quarterbacks get an overwhelming percentage. I'm not saying I don't like him, but I don't like him as much as Daniels or Dak or Herbert. No one is going to play Jalen Hurts. And if he is like 2% owned, I'm going to force in some Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I'm not.
See, this is what's crazy to me, though. Okay. And I'm just going to assume that, yeah, it is. Just eyeballing it here. Dak has been.
Brown and Devontae Smith are in the 5K range.
It's not even that. It's just, if you told me, okay, Dak, talk to me about Dak this year, I'd say he's been, unbelievable, awesome.
Pretty good.
You want to play him every week. Talk to me about Jalen Hurts. It's a mess. It's all going wrong. Look at the screen. Fantasy points per game, They're 1 point apart on the year.
I totally get it. I still think this offense is broken right now. Like,
Maybe.
and look, you're playing this with the mindset that maybe they aren't, and I get that. I totally get it. But I have respect for this Flores defense. If Landon Dickerson's out another day, that doesn't help. There's just something wrong here, in my opinion. So do I think you're wrong in being like, yo, if Jalen Hurts gets no ownership because you have Mahomes and Daniels against Dallas and Prescott at home against Washington and Herbert in a potential shootout against the Colts, you know, I think I'm going through your thought process. Like, I'd be crazy not to get the sum of Hurts here, given that, as you pointed out, yeah, he is still one of the highest fantasy point producers in the league this year. I hear you. I get it. Absolutely. I probably won't do it, but I get it. Also, one other thing to point out. If you look at what Patrick Mahomes is doing from a fantasy point production standpoint, this dude is running so much, and maybe that happens less with Rashee Rice, but they don't have a quality run game. Like, I think he leads the team in rushing yards right now.
Oh, he does. He definitely does.
If you look at the points he's produced on rushing alone, last week, 9.2, 12 the week before that, then nothing in those previous two games. He didn't need to against Baltimore. He didn't need to against the Giants. Then 13.6 and 11.7. That's just on the ground for Patrick Mahomes. Max Crosby can get to the quarterback. They don't have the best offensive line. I think we actually need to, in a sense, reevaluate how we approach Patrick Mahomes going forward. This guy is running a lot, and he takes a beating and gets right back up. Until further notice, this dude's not afraid to run.
I agree with all that. I really worry about this is the classic. I say this a lot about the playoffs. Mahomes is running because they need these games desperately. Like, he has to run. They're 12-point favorite at home against the Raiders. If there was a game for him to be a little more efficient, a little more methodical, and he's got an added weapon,
yep,
I think it would be this game. That is my biggest concern. He doesn't run when they're winning by double digits.
Totally get that. In the same breath, though, this Raiders team always plays Kansas City close.
The Raiders they're another team, like the Jets, to me, where the Raiders have a lot of talent. Antonio Pierce is such a bad coach that he's still there in spirit, apparently.
Well, do you remember last year? They should have beat Kansas City. And I think all they needed to do was like kneel down to kick a field goal or just run a rushing play. And he had, I think it was Aiden O'Connell, line up in shotgun, and they fumbled the snap. Chiefs took over, and Patrick Mahomes kneeled out the rest of the game. You remember that?
Yeah, it brings back some memories. Sure, I remember that. One of the many things that the Raiders did poorly. But yeah, I mean, listen, you're not going to go wrong with any of those guys. I think it's clear that Jalen Hurts is going to be the least popular. For that alone, I'll look at him. Then it gets weird, though. Like, you have Caleb and Rattler. Those guys are definitely playable. What about Justin Fields?
I love him this week. I love Justin Fields this week. I don't think anyone's going to want to play him without Garrett Wilson. I mean, I could see Fields rushing for 100 yards this week. I'm legitimately considering Fields plus Breece Hall lineups with no other pass catchers. I know it sounds nuts, but I don't think it's as crazy as it sounds, dude. It's a 1-point spread. I'm not buying into Carolina's defense, particularly away from home. Fields may just run all the time, and he may dump off to Breece Hall and let him do work with his legs, like we've seen Christian McCaffrey do so many times in the past. You could throw a Mason Taylor in there if you want. I'm not even sure you have to. Yeah, it grosses people out. Totally get it. But Fields, despite how badly this team has played, they have not won a game. They are the lone 0 winless team in the league. And he sucked last week against Denver, but I throw that out the window. When you look at some of these other games, right? Against Dallas, 26. Against the Miami Dolphins, they only scored 21 points. He had 28 DraftKings points. Against Pittsburgh, 30. Like, he can go out there and have huge games, and he can do it with his legs. Like, behind Lamar Jackson, who's a better rushing quarterback in the league?
Is he behind Lamar Jackson?
Right. Seriously. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that answers my question, though, right? Like,
100%.
He could go out there. He had 81 and a touchdown on the ground against Miami. That right there alone is 14 fantasy points.
Listen, I'm there. What Fields has done this year is what you're going to get from him. He's going to give you some absolute gutter balls, and he's going to give you some of the highest outputs at quarterback all year. And I will say this is a common thought, and I absolutely get it, but I wouldn't worry about this. Lord King just said, I'm scared Fields will get benched at the first sign of trouble with all the chirping. That freaks me out, but you do have to think about it like this. If he gets benched, he's got to be playing horrendously bad. So you're kind of taking care of that problem on its own, because if he's playing awful, you're probably not getting there anyway. I know maybe second half garbage time and it doesn't get there, but if he plays well or even decently well, they're not going to bench him. It kind of takes care of itself in that regard.
Right, that's a good point. In a good matchup too. But yeah, actually, your point is super valid, because if he's playing poorly, it doesn't matter. Your lineup's dead whether he's benched.
Yeah. Whether he gets 0 because he got benched or he gets 6, you are done.
Yep.
You're done.
Chris Longo, Fields isn't the answer. You don't have to play him, man. You do not have to play him.
Probably isn't, but that's not.
There are the same people saying Bryce Young. Why would you throw your money away on Bryce Young? And these type of guys. Bryce Young was the winning quarterback in the play action, which has like 800,000 entries in it, or 400,000. So yeah, you're saying the same thing as I am. You don't have to feel good about someone. You just have to identify if there's a path.
Yeah. And there's always a path with Fields, because he can do something that nobody else can do. So right there, he has a perpetual path.
Yep. Chris said, I mean, in general, not for DFS. No, of course not. He's not. But also the play calling is terrible. Like, if you're not,
I'm a Fields truther. So
go ahead.
No, I just mean,
so am I. If you put, go ahead.
If Fields is on Baltimore, they're rolling. Hot take.
If Fields was on last year's Eagles, they might still win the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's a double hot take. Where's the thing? God, how do you find these things? Where's this? We need.
All right, you go into media assets. You got to scroll down. Which one did you want?
I don't even know. Every time we go here, I'm like, oh, I'll get the one that makes sense for what you just said, and then it's like siren, police, gunshot. No, I don't.
No. This is what it is.
That's not it. I was thinking like. That's not bad.
No, it's not. All right, ready? If Fields were on the Eagles last year, they might still win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, what do you whistle?
Is that it?
I gotta talk to somebody about these sounds. Like, I thought there would be like a horn.
Why would a horn be good for that?
Like, I don't know. Hot take horn.
Oh, get out of my way! Hot take coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all aboard the hot take train.
Well, I think. Hold on. People are just gonna leave at this point. There's got to be a train, right?
It says train whistle. Man.
All aboard the hot take train. There we go. Now, look, I have a ton of respect for Jalen Hurts. How about this? How many are the Eagles a clear contender last year if Justin Fields is at quarterback with the way everything was constructed in that offense?
You don't have to sell me, but one thing, you can debate that all you want. What's not debatable is you don't need to be a great real life quarterback to be an absolute asset.
Exactly.
That's undisputed.
I'm going to say this much, though. I don't really think there's anywhere else I want to go. I do like Justin Herbert. I have no problem with Drake May against Tennessee. Maybe there's a dead cat bounce there for Tennessee, though, at home with a new coach, and then they go back to being bad. I like Dak. I like Jaden. It's the top. It's the 6K plus guys. Daniel Jones. The only guy that I'm really truly interested in below 6K is Justin Fields. You could probably sell me on Rattler or Caleb Williams, but it's all of those 6K plus guys and then Fields that stand out to me the most.
Yeah, I agree with that. Bo Nix, if he's like 2% owned, that's just a team that they'll have their moments. I don't really want to do that. I still respect that Giants pass rush. I'll tell you, you got the Jets hot take. I think the Titans are going to win this week.
Oh, I love it.
I liked what your logic was last week. You had mentioned New England was coming off super emotional division game. Then they got to go to New Orleans. They survived that. Now you got to go to Tennessee double road game. This is even worse of a spot, honestly.
Tennessee with a new head coach.
With a new head coach, it's a defense that's there. And New England is a fine team, but I don't think they're ready to just beat only we'll just take care of all the bad teams. I don't think they're there yet.
I'm with you. Yeah, I was wrong about New Orleans. They competed though. It was a competitive game.
They were a good, like I said, what an awesome bad team they are.
Yes. Yeah. I looked at the spread last night after the Bears won on that final kick. And let's see, the point spread in this game is 5.5. They're only 5.5 point home favorites against the Saints. So,
yeah. But yeah, I have nothing else. I'm going to running back.
Let's do it. So,
look at
talking about the running back position, and I will move this over as well. It's a fun position this week for a number of reasons. I'm not going to bury the lead here. There's one guy that stands out. When I told you I'm just going to eat chalk on certain players, Ben, the first guy going into my lineups is Quinshon Judkins. I don't even care at this point. He's going up against Miami. Miami on the season is allowing almost 160 rushing yards per game, 5.6 yards per attempt. There was somebody that tweeted, he went back and watched the film on that Chargers-Miami game, and he's like, it says way more about the Miami run defense than Kamani Vidal. No slight towards Vidal. I actually laddered him up to 70. Should have gone to 100. But I laddered him up to 70 at 10-1. And that was on Tails, by the way. Make sure to check us out if you haven't done so yet. Tell you more about that in a second. But I don't know, dude. I'm going to play running backs against the Dolphins until it no longer makes sense, or until these sites price them up high enough. They can't stop the run. And if there is one recipe to win for Cleveland, they are 2.5 point favorites. They should, and they have some question marks on the offensive line, like Conklin and another guy, I forget who it is. But so did the Chargers. The Chargers offensive line is in shambles, and Vidal had a monster game. Dowdle rushed for over 200 on 23 carries. How do I not just say I'm going to Quinshon Judkins with the assumption that Kevin Stefanski is just going to want to run the football, and the Cleveland Browns are going to bring endless pressure against Tua Tagovailoa. Whether it works or not is unimportant to me. I don't care what's going on with. I'm just playing him.
Yeah, listen, all systems go. I will say, on just a biased personal level, I told you this. He cost me an unlimited amount of money last week, which was really unfortunate because him and Dowdle were the same price, and I obviously went mostly Dowdle, but my best lineup, which was a really good lineup, had Judkins and no Dowdle, and that was just a standard 40-point swing.
It always works that way, where you'll be super overweight to a chalky player, but then the one lineup where you get different has the guy you don't need, and not only need, but just flat out sucks.
It was unfortunate.
It's not even Judkins' fault in that game. That was a clear Pittsburgh comes in and routes them. Pittsburgh off of a bye, Cleveland coming back from London with Dylan Gabriel, Pittsburgh getting their defense healthy. Even Jalen Ramsey was in there after he was expected to be out with that hamstring. It's they just had all of the stars align in that game, Ben. It's no surprise to anybody. Dylan Gabriel had to throw over 50 times. Now you've got a broken Miami team with literally no run defense. it just sets up too well. I've got to do it.
Yeah, listen, I'm completely fine with that. You have to have a short memory. It just is what it is with that. But was it frustrating. In terms of actually, I don't even want to go to the top because I just want to ask you right next to him. If I had another complaint, it was last night with Krosky Merritt, who he got the volume, but he couldn't really make it happen. He also fumbled, which disrupted the game in general. Do we want to go back to this guy who was making a case that he might have been like the breakout star of the league? He was, I believe, averaging the best yards per carry in the entire league through 5 weeks, and that regressed quite a bit last week.
I would go back to the well here. Yeah.
Okay.
Do I like him as like, hey, I'm going to pivot off Judkins here? No, I don't see it in that sense. Like he's my pivot off of Judkins, but he played a season high 66% of snaps, way more than he typically has. They like McNichols out there on passing downs because Krosky Merritt is not a good pass blocker, which dings him. In my opinion, that dings him. If you're in a favorable or neutral game script, that's a little bit different. But like Judkins in a spot like this should get the large majority of carries. There's no real uncertainty in the backfield there. 17 attempts, though, for Krosky Merritt. That, like, to me, 14 and 17, you're right, he lost the fumble. Back-to-back games, as a matter of fact. That's a little bit concerning. But I'd still go back there, just not as a, hey, I got to pivot off of, Quinshon Judkins to get there.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. But yeah, he's definitely in the conversation. And this is just a weird running back range because you got some lofty price tags. Jonathan Taylor's been unbelievable. He's almost $9,000 now.
Well, let's stay in the 6K range for a second because I think it gives us a lot. Javonte Williams, DeAndre Swift just went nuts on the Commanders in Washington yesterday, or Landover, Maryland. Shittiest stadium on earth. Breece Hall against Carolina. I love Breece Hall this week. I mean, he got nothing going on the ground last week in a really tough matchup in London against Denver. They fed him 22 times in that game. 22 times Breece Hall touched the football on the ground. And you start saying, oh, he played 75% of snaps as well. I think Jordan Mason, you look at it from the other side. I say if the Eagles actually are broken and Jalen Carter's still dealing with a banged up heel, although he should be good with extended rest, is Jordan Mason viable? Krosky Merritt, Quinshon Judkins, Dowdle's up there. This 6K range has like 5 or 6 guys I'd be willing to plug in this week.
Yeah. I mean, you can really go with a mix and match 2 or 3 right from that range and save some money. Because like I said, these guys up top, their floors are really good. And certainly they've got some upside. I'm not disputing that. But Achane has a brutal matchup, in my opinion. That's not something I'm super keen on. And then Josh Jacobs, he lives in the end zone. And it's hard to bank on that. He's probably the most reliable touchdown scorer out there, I'd say, in the league maybe. But at the same time, you're still drawing to probably a multiple touchdown game to really get there.
That is a lofty price point on Josh Jacobs.
It's tough.
He plays so many snaps, which is encouraging, like almost 80% of snaps last week. I don't want to pay $8,100 for Devon Achane. I like Jonathan Taylor here, but you mentioned $8,800. Barkley, they can't run block right now. Gentry's got a tough spot against Kansas City, although I think he could be a little sneaky contrarian play, but that offense is just not very good, and they got to go into Arrowhead. I really could see myself living in the 6K range this week.
I'm not going to push back on that. Like I said, I absolutely think 6K range, not that big of an opportunity cost, not that big of a drop off. How cheap do you think you're willing to go?
I don't know. I'm thinking like, is J.K. Dobbins viable?
Yeah,
maybe, but he doesn't do much. He doesn't inspire any like excitement. Stevenson and Henderson are still, I don't really want to go there. I also don't think Tennessee's defense is as bad as some people in chat are making it seem. Like, I don't think they're good, but I also don't think their defense is that bad. Here's a good question from Kyle, because I was going to mention him. Kyle, Loughy, you said Swift was not so good, but he was in a good spot last night. He's referring to Live Before Lock, where someone was like, Swift sucks. And I said, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't think he's great, but play him. Play him anyway. Bless you. He was in a good spot last night. Do you still think he's not that great? Yeah, dude, he's fine. DeAndre Swift is fine.
I love
I mean, I'm not sure what you're getting at, Kyle, if we're suggesting that, like, he's great, because he's not.
He's great. He's great.
No, he's not.
He's great.
He's fine.
Straight alpha.
Fine. Like, he's a slightly above average running back.
Running back is impossible, though. It really, maybe it's just a me thing. Like, I have no idea. Like, Derrick Henry. How is he a top? I don't even know. That's what I mean. Like, who's a better running back, Derrick Henry or DeAndre Swift?
Henry,
is he?
For sure.
Okay. What about Gentry?
It's not even close. It's not even close.
I think I'm in the bitter barn because he's another one who couldn't score from the 1-inch line.
Who's better, Jonathan Taylor or DeAndre Swift?
See, that to me is a more reasonable question.
Saquon Barkley or Swift?
Seriously, though, like,
Breece Hall is way better than DeAndre Swift. There's a good one for you. Like, I'll say that right now.
But this is, why I don't understand running back, because look at Dowdle.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, how good is he?
And real quick, Kyle, yeah, no worries, dude. I'm just saying, it, like, to me, the conversation's almost irrelevant, because I don't really care how good a player is. I care what their price is, I care what their matchup is and their opportunity, and if I think they can get there, right? Like, you do too.
Yeah, Dobbins or Swift, Kenneth Walker or Swift. Those are tough questions.
I'd put like Dobbins and Swift in the same bucket.
I
think Walker's better. I actually think Walker's pretty good. But to your question, Kyle, yeah, I'd absolutely consider playing DeAndre Swift again this week. He's really the only guy in the 5K range that I kind of like.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like, again, to take the conversation, not that we need to belabor the point, but like, I think Tony Pollard is a great player. I'm permanently convinced of that. He doesn't have the team around him, and it doesn't matter. So it makes him, like, him with a better opportunity. He could be Dowdle. Like, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah,
Tony Pollard could have those type of games.
He fights hard. It's just there's no help at all.
Like, you can't
at all.
You can't make it happen. Even the Patriots, unless we get some news, it's impossible to decipher what they're doing. I don't like any of those backs unless we get some clarity.
The reason I like guys like Hall and Judkins over a DeAndre Swift this week, even though I don't dislike Swift, is because Judkins and Hall have legitimate, I'm going to say it, they have like 30 touch upside in a game like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Swift never does.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. That's true.
So
I still like Swift in life, though.
I know you do. Hey, he was on the Eagles. He wasn't bad for him. Wasn't great. Wasn't bad.
He's fine.
Any other cheap options? Would you consider like a Pacheco or a Vidal or anybody like that?
No, it's just unnecessary to me.
All right. Hey, I want to show you guys something, by the way, in case you're not over there yet. So I was actually looking at this the other day, and I was like, all right, so who am I tailing? Right? And I start looking at the guys that I'm following and tailing, and a lot of them are our guys, but there are a few guys out there that are absolutely killing sports, Ben, that I don't know anything about. Jake Hart, this guy's winning 10, 12 to 1 parlays. I'm tailing. Look, you can see it. I tailed him already right here with the checkbox. Tailing Jake. You need to follow if you're on tails and you're following, say like Ben or me or Greg or Josh, great. Branch out and find some of these guys, whether it's on the leaderboard or whether it's per our recommendations, like Mike, who Ben knows and is in Ben's Discord. these guys on the leaderboard who are having, great weeks, guys with most profit, these type of guys, the people who are trending, make sure there's Mike. Look, 21 units, Mike, 10,693, Mike Thurston, dude's crushing. And now I can bet hockey and know that I'm actually tailing sharp people, which is very fun for me. Like last night, I was watching hockey, sweating these games. I never would have been able to do that otherwise. Outside of my portfolio EV bets, which are, it's different. Like I'm grinding small edges, I'm betting unders. With this, I get to sweat out like a power play where I've got all three of them to have a point, stuff like that. This stuff is awesome to me. If you're not there yet, over on Tails, check it out. Links are in the description. I just can't stress enough how many other amazing creators are on this platform. And if you take a couple seconds to just find the ones like DKDFS, a lot of these guys, Matt Gajeski and Ben for college football, like I hit those guys up every single week for college football stuff. Now I can bet all these sports that I know nothing about and have confidence that I'm actually going in and saying, look, this is a good bet because I trust these guys and the results are up here as well.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's been awesome and the platform is growing really quickly. This is all free content, by the way. A lot of people have some premium stuff behind the paywall, all that good stuff. But all of this, I'm dropping a bet of the day, as you can see, and it's one click to tail. It's literally one click. So if you're just someone, I get these tweets all the time, and it's people, they don't mean bad or anything, but they just don't know that. I get it every Saturday. Hey man, who are you on today? Who's your favorite bet? And I'm just like, it's over on Tails for free. You can go and find it. And then they're there and they're happy they are. So take a few minutes and get over there and follow a couple people, see what you think. You have nothing to lose, but it's great. You've been dropping, also don't bury the lead, some DFS giveaways over there as well. You've been putting in some lineups and some perfect lineups, all that good stuff. So whether you're just doing DFS or you're in the betting streets, it's here. You have two badges? How did you get two badges? What, have you been talking to the devs?
I don't know. Why do I have it? Trending,
Ooh.
most followers, number 2, and what's the other one? Most likes.
You stole my bet. I'm on that.
We're putting in work over here, brother.
Yeah, I've been grinding, man.
Dude, that giveaway had legs. Like we were almost giving out 1,000. That I got close. I got real close in the spy. But anyway.
And there's no better time for me because you guys, if you haven't been on there, I had a dumpster fire weekend and now I'm climbing out of it. So I feel better. Get that out of there. Ugh.
I posted a lot of games last night, by the way. You want to see, before we get to wide receivers, you want to see my round robin dogs moneyline round robin, or a moneyline round robin on dogs, 2s and 3s. So 2s and then the parlay.
Home dogs.
Jets, Vikings, and Bengals, all moneyline dogs this week.
I like 2 of those. I don't like one of them.
You don't like the Vikings?
Yeah, I don't like the Vikings.
How about the Bengals? I think there's life there.
Yeah. This is it's still early in the season. This feels like an all-in situation for Cincy. If they have any hope, they have to win this game.
I thought Flacco played well.
I don't know about that, but they had a chance.
Really? I thought he was okay. Given the matchup in Lambeau, I thought he played pretty well. But
yeah,
whatever. All right. Wide receiver position. Let's move this one along, man. There's one guy up top that I absolutely love this week, and I'm going to have you see if you can take a guess and figure out who it is. He is at the top of the wide receiver position. Well, one of the top. Who is it this week?
It's a good question. I mean, how do you not like Pickens?
Well, CD's coming back.
I honestly don't think that's that big of a deal.
At that price?
If CD, again, I want to stress this. This is always in the confines of, I think people will if Pickens is like 1% owned because CD's active, bad ankle sprain, like, does he really come back to 100%?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I can tell you the best play on the slate, though.
So I hope that Rashee Rice is like 60% owned.
That's not who I'm going with.
Oh, okay. I don't get that either.
Justin Jefferson.
You would.
No, listen. I don't think Quinyon Mitchell is going to play. Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson are terrible. Dude, I'm talking bad. Jackson Dart lit up that secondary with practice squad players. Lil Jordan Humphrey had a 36-yard reception. Like, this secondary, if Quinyon Mitchell's not in it, Ben, is a real problem. I mean, a real problem. They still have good linebackers. You can take guys out like, TJ Hawkinson with Jahad Campbell and Zach Baum, who can run with these guys as well. Justin Jefferson and even Jordan Addison at, I think, 56 or something. If Quinyon doesn't play this week, that is a real, real problem for the Philadelphia Eagles, man. And Justin Jefferson may just eat them alive. This is assuming Carson Wentz is healthy and can play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is there's a lot of assumption. It's funny. Normally this is at running back. There's a lot of assumptions with wide receiver this week. You've got questionable tag there, Jefferson with the quarterback. Obviously, I think Wilson, that's not really a question anymore. He's not going to play. There's some weird situations, though, honestly. Portland Sutton. This is a Cortland Sutton week, 5,900.
I'll go right back to Cortland Sutton, man. I'll be right there with you. Nothing last week.
Didn't need to.
He has easy 100-yard, 2-touchdown upside in a spot like this. I by the way, I bet the Denver Broncos. I laid 7 on the Broncos. I think this is the type of spot where I know they're coming back from London, but they're at home. That actually doesn't look that bad. I think the Broncos could come and rout this Giants team.
I like Denver as well. You got to talk to me though about Kansas City. Maybe I'm not up on the times and I don't know what the hell's going on. He seems like a fine play, but is Rashee Rice like a plug? I have seen a lot of people saying that this is like a comically absurd price.
So he is definitely too cheap. I don't know what his snap count's going to look like. He's definitely underpriced. But if there was one guy that I wanted to get underweight on, assuming they were crazy chalk, and you're like, yo, you have to go underweight on Quinshon Judkins or Rashee Rice, for me, it's not even a question. I'm going underweight on Rashee Rice, and I'm going overweight on Judkins.
I agree.
Judkins, I just think, has far more guaranteed opportunity.
It's the Chiefs. The Chiefs are one of those teams, and it's the Raiders. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of decision points, or runouts, I should say, where Rashee Rice is just a guy. Like, he leads the team in targets this week. That's what people are telling me.
Wait, what do you mean just a guy?
That he's one of like 6 pass catchers on the Chiefs this week. Like, he has 4 targets, and Hollywood Brown has 4 targets, and Worthy has 5 targets, and Kelsey has 3 targets, and Pacheco and the backs have 2, and they win by 15, and we call it a day.
But you're not denying that Rashee Rice is ultra talented.
Of course, it's his first game back, though.
Okay, I just wanted to, when you said just a guy, you're saying
this
the possibility that on this game, he's just one of many.
I'm only speaking in DFS terms right now.
Yep.
It's a one week season. This is all that matters. Is Rashee Rice guaranteed to just go right back to that role? I don't think so.
No, he's not. I mean, the one thing is he's healthy, so it's not like you're dealing with an injury. But do they still try and work him in maybe a little bit? Another thing to consider, as a huge favorite, would this not be the game to try and do that?
The question you have to ask yourself, and I clearly I don't have this answer. I wish I did. When you look back in a month, do you think that Rashee Rice's snap count will look different this week than it will look in 2 or 3 weeks?
Without question, yeah.
Okay. If the answer to that is yes, then I don't really now his price probably will also look different, so that is a fair trade-off. But I don't think that we just see max capacity here. I don't.
I see that. I mean, there's also the argument though of like targets per route run. He might play 40% of snaps, but then have like a 50% target per route run rate or something like that. You see that sometimes too. You know what I mean? So I still think he's a good play. I like him more than you do. I, however, don't like him to the point where I'm jamming him everywhere. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I'm at.
And like I said, I want to be clear. If he's moderately owned or something, I might have a decent amount. But if he is overwhelming chalk, I will 100% be underweight.
He's going just from the way chat is talking right now. I'm pretty confident Rashee Rice is going to be insanely. I mean, Thog is guaranteeing 7 targets. I mean, if you gave me over under 7.5 targets, and given Thog's logic here, you're giving me significant plus money on the under. I'm hammering that.
I'd also sign for 7 targets as a short.
What's that?
If you told me he got 7 targets, I'd feel better in my position that I don't want to jam him.
I see what you're saying.
Like 7 targets could mean a lot of 5 for 46 and 0.
Mm-hmm. He's amazing after the catch. He's everything about this guy is great. It's just chalk wide receivers are a lot different than chalk running backs. Let's be very clear about that. Swoop, Rice is a superstar. Nobody's denying that.
He's a player.
He's going to get there on 3 targets. Everyone seems to be. Jeff, Rice was the top wide receiver in the league before injury last year. Yeah, I mean, he played 3 games, but no one's denying how good he is. Not a single person. He's outstanding. But what you're saying is if he ends up being mega chalk in his first game back, easy underweight spot.
Easy. And he might get there on 3 targets. If he gets 3 targets, I've done my job.
Tiffany, first weekend using The Sims, averaged 55-point wins with people I played for years. Gave one 70-point ass beating because they needed it. Was so excited, forgot to send the promo. Are there bundles if I wanted to add? We don't have bundles, but we will have a promo. Also, Tiffany, start throwing those lineups into some comments. But I love to see it. Yeah, start using those in some GPPs as well. But I love to see it. Congratulations. Anyway, discounted wide. I mean, right now for me, there is another guy. There is one other guy that I have to ask you about. I mentioned Jordan Addison. He's 5,100, by the way. If Quentin Johnston's out, Keenan Allen and Ladd go right back into the pool for me. There's no denying that. I'm playing them. Cortland Sutton, I'd probably consider some A.J. Brown. Justin Jefferson's my number 1 right now. Everyone yelled at me for saying Olave last week. He was 2 yards shy of a 100-yard game. Perfectly good performance, right? With the 100-yard game, you're getting a 20 spot from Olave at 5,100. What about Jerry Jeudy at 4,400 against Miami?
Yeah, I mean, he had 13 again. He had 13 targets.
Yeah. Now, granted, Gabriel threw like 55 times, but
I know, but it'll materialize. It will. I mean, you're going to have to.
Miami's defense is that bad.
They're awful. Yeah, there are guys down there, honestly, and this is another guy that I don't know if he's going to factor into a main slate just yet, but I'm telling you, Matthew Golden is going to have a game soon.
I have him on my list.
He is someone I played in the afternoon slate last week. He's going to be on, again, you guys should be over on Tails. You're going to see me have some bets on Matthew Golden this week. He is someone that is really close to breaking out.
Second highest snap share last week among wide receivers. 6.5-point favorites this week. Dontavian Wicks injured his ankle and could remain out for this one. Dude, You say you don't know if it's a main slate. I think there's an argument to say he is a large field kind of flyer GPP play on a main slate.
I mean, yeah, listen, he's someone. It's close, and it could be there. I know it's a crowded little wide receiver room, and the Packers are kind of an enigma for what they do because Jacobs takes a lot of touchdown equity, but Matthew Golden's a burner, and he can move. He's got home run upside. If you need a flyer, you could do worse than him.
They also drafted this guy in the first round, right?
Yeah, he's a player, a real player. See,
Dan,
Mark understands, by the way, that this is the answer of the slate.
Yeah, Mark Diana. I kind of like combining Ben and Loughy's stances, doing a Hurts AJ with Jefferson bring back. I'd be okay with that.
I love that build.
I'd also consider a Wentz Jefferson with a Brown run back if AJ's healthy. Dan, are you guys getting any Keishon Boutte this week? Probably not.
It's not impossible, but probably not.
It's unlikely for me. I was wrong on Kendrick Bourne last week, but Boutte had 5 on 5 targets for 93 and 2 touchdowns. You're threading a real that's a tough one. Last one, Josh Downs, 4,800. Problem there is there's so many guys to throw the ball to, and there's Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Warren, Michael Pittman. There's a lot of bodies, a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah, I would rather just not deal with that.
All right, let's talk tight ends before we get out of here. And as always, appreciate you guys hanging out. We figured whoever is joining late that if you're someone that's followed us and watched the show for as long as we've done it and done Goblin of the Week, we had to do a promo here only for the First Look show. You won't find this on Twitter. You won't find this anywhere on social, anywhere else on YouTube or any other shows. 50% off the entirety of the week, NFL Max or NFL Core with promo code Goblin. Just go into the description. You'll see Stokastic. It's the first link, right? Click there. And in doing so, pick either one of those. Use the code Goblin when you check out. Gobli. Don't be a goblin. Know how to spell goblin, okay? Do that. And in doing so, you're getting 50% off any NFL weekly or any NFL Max or Core weekly package. Huge discount, right? We don't do this often. And Ben, I mentioned earlier in the show, but not everybody was here. With this, you're getting Thursday night football, Sunday morning London football, Sunday Maine, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, and a Monday night doubleheader, not including all of the other slates they include in this as well, like the 2 big Monday night showdowns and all of that good stuff. So perfect week for us to run this. Let's thank Brian Callahan for getting fired, because this is why we decided to do this. And it just so happened to be on a week where we have literally Thursday, 2, 3, 4, like 6 kind of main slate styles.
It's a great timing by the Titans. When Mike McDaniel gets fired, we're going to raise the prices just because that guy doesn't help anybody. So yeah, it's just a good time and it's fun. We want to give back, and it's a long time coming with Tennessee. All the money they've cost me, you can now save money. 4-9. That guy was 4-19 against the spread. That's
insane.
That's almost impossible.
That's insane. And I kept betting him.
I mean, I don't have this, but I'm not even joking. And I always exaggerate things. I have to be over the last 2 years, I would say 1 in 5 at best, when I've bet the Titans as a dog and they're up 14 plus in the game.
Me too.
I mean, the number of times where they're up multiple touchdowns and I'm getting points that they didn't cover is insane. And then the one time I didn't need them to, they beat Arizona when they were down 21-3.
Yep.
It's insane.
Yeah. I look, you're preaching to the choir. Week 1 last year, Caleb Williams' first game, he was horrible. He threw for like 50 yards. The Chicago Bears had 0 offensive points, and Tennessee was stomping them and end up losing that game outright when we had them as like 3.5 point road dogs. Ended up losing. I'm sorry. They ended up losing outright as, what was it, like 2.5 point favorites or something, whatever it was. That should have been the easiest win, and they found a way to blow it. So Will Levis with just some of the worst decisions I've ever seen. Goblin at
Where's-
checkout, 50% off any weekly subscription. Get every single slate this upcoming week and build that bankroll, baby. All right, so let's talk tight end. I'll go to Trey McBride, whether Kyler's in or out at this point. I don't know if Marvin Harrison's going to play, but at the top here, I don't love Ferguson if Lamb is back. I think that's a pretty lofty price point. Tyler Warren, fine here. No problems. Don't love him. I do like Tucker Kraft. I like Tucker Kraft quite a bit in this spot.
You know, it's someone we didn't talk about. And again, I always have to clarify with the ownership potential. I haven't even considered Jordan Love on a main slate this year, but there's a world where I have a Love, Golden, Kraft type stack, and I bring back with either Trey McBride or nobody and be really different there. No one, I don't think, is going to do that. You obviously have Jacobs on the ground, but Green Bay, don't discount these weapons. Kraft is a touchdown machine. He had another one last week.
Yeah, and a beautiful catch and run to the pylon as well. I like him.
Kyle,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, get this question a lot. Kyle, it doesn't matter at all. If your lineup is a heavy late game, it means nothing. I know there's a psychological factor, but no, it doesn't matter.
Yep. Means nothing at all. Early or late means nothing at all. It may feel like it does. I've had plenty of times where I had a great 1 p.m. lineup with like 4 p.m. guys to go, Ben, thinking I'm going to climb the ladder here, and they just suck. I've had times where I thought people were going to catch me after having a mostly all 1 o'clock lineup, and they didn't. It just doesn't mean a thing. Brendan, maybe Mason Taylor with no Wilson, but after getting 45 yards of passing, I'm not sure. Yeah, well, there's two things here. One, I think Mason Taylor looks perfectly fine this week. I kind of like him. Two, that was a weird game in London against a very good Vance Joseph defense in Denver. You know, Carolina they're not a top tier defense. They got a couple guys, but they're not a top tier defense at all. So I like him. I like Harold Fannin Jr. if David Njoku's out as well, Ben, at 3,900.
I'd rather have Ertz, but yeah.
All right. Even if McLaurin's back?
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty to go around. Dallas's defense stinks.
They do.
Again, I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to play to target Zach Ertz. There's a lot of mouse. They had, I mean, how many wide receivers do they carry? Who the hell were those guys last night? Did you know about those guys?
Only because I had to do 2 shows. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, no, I know McCaffrey. It's Christian's brother.
Talk to me about the other ones, though.
Jalen Lane, he made a lot of noise in training camp. So, yeah. Chris Moore, he's been around forever. He's just
on like 8 different teams. He was on Carolina for a while, I think.
He's been on so many different teams, man. So many. You know who you can play this week, whether you like him or not? Michael Mayer at 3,500. I had a very live lineup with him last week. It's a tough matchup, but he played 92% of snaps, and Brock Bowers is not expected to play again. 92% of snaps for Michael Mayer at 3,500. I think him and Mason Taylor both make a ton of sense this week. Also, a guy I shouted out to you on the Sunday show, Oronde Gadsden.
Mm-hmm.
This guy last week, with no Quentin Johnston, he had 8 targets, 7 receptions with Will Dissly back for 68 yards. They really like him. He is an athlete. He's a playmaker, and he played 75% of snaps. This is the range I probably live in this week. Mayer, Taylor, some Harold Fannin, Oronde Gadsden in this spot with a 48.5 point total. So the Chargers slight home favorites, 3,300. If QJ is out again, I like that as well. A lot, actually.
Yeah, good pay down options there. Mayer, I'm behind that. I had him in my anytime touchdown parlay with Calvin Ridley in the afternoon, which worked out how you think it would. Kelsey, yeah, I see what you mean there. I just don't know. It's the type of thing I think they end up possibly cannibalizing each other a little too much. Goddard,
wait,
maybe.
Who do you think cannibalizes each other?
Like Kelsey and Rice and like.
I didn't mention Kelsey.
No, chat did.
Oh, gotcha.
So I worry about just getting to any of that. Goddard, same thing. I think he's fine. Laporta's not on the slate. Yeah, you have price points. I think that's the beautiful thing about tight end this week. You have very easy pay down options, and you can pay all the way to the top if you have the money.
This is a fun slate.
This is my favorite slate so far, I would say. I can't think of one that I've liked more than this.
I think you also like it because I see the gears turning in your head where you can see yourself getting different. Like the Hurts thing, the Rashee Rice, I won't say fade, but underweight. Like I think you're visualizing spots where you could be very different this week on a 10 gamer.
So I struggle a lot more when there are chalk plays that really do seem like there's no such thing as can't miss in football but like the last couple weeks, these running back, it's just been such immense chalk and you see the scores. I've said this for years. I don't know why this is. Maybe it's a leak in my game. There's a direct correlation to how well I do and the Millie Maker top score. If it's like 270, there's almost no chance that I win. I don't know why that is. When it's like 220 or 210, I tend to do a lot better. Maybe it's just a product. I put up like 175 to 190. I feel like every week, and half the time that's just not good anymore.
Yeah, I hear you.
So,
I also think there is a misconception, and I don't know where this is coming from. I see all these people talking about it. They're like, dude, everything's a timeshare these days in the backfield. No, it's not. I mean, not even close. Not even remotely close. Jonathan, the Colts backfield, no. Miami, no. Green Bay, no. Philly, no. Vegas, no. Jets, no. Dallas, no. Not even from the jump. Last week, you saw Carolina. Tracy come back. Giants, no. Minnesota might have been, but not anymore. Cleveland, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the league's evolved. There's no doubt where a lot of these teams do have that, but
teams have always had some type of timeshare.
Yeah, it used to just be more passing centric. That's how I think of it. Like there used to be more like it's third down, bring in the guy who can catch. Now they all can catch.
Yeah. But I still look at like duos back in the day that Carolina had, the D'Angelo Williams and what was it, Jonathan? What was his name?
Jonathan Stewart.
The Giants have always run time. Like a lot of these teams have run timeshares.
Yeah, Bradshaw and Jacobs.
Yeah. The Patriots have
always had like 9 guys.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah. Swoop, we know you're not fading Rashee Rice. And you have made that very clear. Don't worry.
I like it. Strong in those convictions.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, you could be very right about this. You could be very, very right. But also, if Ben is right, he gets paid off more than you do in many cases.
Oh, yeah.
Swoop, I'm not talking to you. All right. Well, I'm talking to you, brother. Tiffany, has anyone ever put a tight end in a flex if a team is really weak on wide receivers? Forget about weak on wide receivers. Yeah, you can put tight ends at flex all the time. Anyway, one defense under 3K for this week. Everyone was shouting the Panthers, which I get it. I'm going Jets, Ben.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I will go Tennessee.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. I like that. How about Minnesota?
Thought about that. Definitely reasonable. Let me flip it on the way out. If you had to, who is the defense if you could eliminate, you were down to the last defense you would play, who would it be? Who's your least favorite defense in the sub 3?
That's fun. I mean, it's not going to be any of these guys up top, obviously. It's probably, I hate to do this, but it's probably the Raiders.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Crosby really does generate pressure, but I think it's the Raiders or the Saints. The Saints are also bad.
That's a rough one. But I don't hate this. I mean,
outside the dome,
honestly,
I
don't have much interest in the Cardinals at all either.
Yeah, there's some bad ones, but no, for me, the ones I do like, I like the Jets and I like the Titans.
Yep. Richie, what about Browns at 3K? We always do under 3K. It makes it more fun. But yeah, dude, the Browns at 3K, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then last one, Dalton Wentz revenge game. Last time Wentz had a revenge game, I was there in Landover when I mentioned that terrible stadium. We sacked him 7 times and beat the piss out of him. But much better situation here for Wentz against the Eagles. I actually would consider some Carson Wentz this week if he's healthy. So I'm with you, Dalton. Not so much as the revenge game, but I do think he would love to beat the Eagles. I'll give you that. I think he would love to beat the Eagles in a spot like this. Nobody remembers Wentz for the Super Bowl. They remember Nick Foles, even though Wentz had him at like 13-2 or something when he got hurt. So anyway, I guess that's it. I guess that'll do it.
We did it.
Yo, what's going on over on Tails coming up? Don't we have college football today?
3 incredibly bad games, which is honestly the best time to get over there. I got a bet of the day up already. I'm going to have bets for this. I might even throw a prop or 2. So again, I'd say it every time, but take 5 minutes and come over and just start with me and Loughy. Just give us a follow. Again, we're both dropping free content. Costs you nothing. If you don't like it, no harm, no foul. But if you do like it, you got great info coming your way all day, every day. You'll be really happy that you did it.
No
Go
doubt.
to tails.bet or chopper.com.
Or the links in the description. But also,
the links in the description.
Also, take a minute to check some of these other people out. Like, I can't say enough about Jake. Jake quietly behind the scenes is very, very, very sharp with NHL. Like, very sharp.
Yeah, he crushes.
He just took down 10K in DFS. He posts DFS information for free. Go follow people like Jake, right? Go follow a lot of these people that you may not know yet that you can find in the leaderboards and everywhere else. So appreciate you guys. We love doing this show. We love you all. This is an awesome way to start the heater. What's that?
I said Aton's on a heater. Apparently.
I am on a heater, man. Go follow our boy Aton Shander, dude. Yeah, man. But
yeah, Bobby.
Yeah,
H,
Bobby's a great one, man. Bobby gives out awesome info. That dude grinds. Bobby Hare, Hare. Hit him up on there as well over on Tails. Like I said, there's some really good people there. Some really good people. Yeah, shout out to Bobby. He's putting in some serious work. Anyway, that'll do it for us. Follow Ben Jazzraz Bets on the Twitter, me at Loughy_D. If you like to talk about football and other stuff, that's where we can do it. And we will see you back here for the next one. My picks for every game as well coming out this afternoon over on the Odd Shopper betting channel. Bye-bye.